I'm Nick Hamman from Hammy Eats, delivered by Mr. D, and I'm in Observatory, Cape Town. And behind me has a spot called Ground Culture, run by Sebastian Daniels. It's making some of the best burgers anywhere in the country and also supporting township-based businesses. Let's go inside and check out why so many people are raving about this place. Hey, man.
Yeah, Nick. Nice to see you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Been a while, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's finally here.
Yeah, we're super stoked to have you here. I speak for myself and this lovely team.
Good. So, Seb, obviously we know each other, but I feel like there's a lot of gaps. I know that a lot of your work now is concerned with like business development and entrepreneurship, and you're fascinated by the township. What's your origin story?
Best place to start is both my parents are journalists. So my mom was a TV journalist for SABC, who ended up becoming parliamentary editor of SABC. My dad was a writer for various papers. So in school holidays, I wouldn't necessarily go to daycare. I'd go to protests with my mom because she was reporting on that. So that's what I did my holidays. I grew up with a very different idea of South Africa. I saw all these problems. So it was always like a contradiction for me, like going out to protest about Palestine and then going to Rondebosch. But I think that's where that kind of idea started in my mind, that like there are two sides to South Africa. So I finished university, did my thesis on Stokpol's, got the class medal, and then was like, I'm going to spend 1 week in Khayelitsha every single week until I build friends there, until I understand this place. And I started going to a place called Sikki's Coffee Cafe. Super cool coffee shop. And started to build a nice community of friends up there. Yeah, and that's kind of where the start of Ground Culture kind of begins, because I start meeting these entrepreneurs that have these really cool products, but are not sure how to get into the formal sector. Yeah, that's the township side. But on the other side, my dad, as I mentioned earlier, was a writer. He wrote this column called Sunny Side Up. And he had dementia, he had Lewy body dementia, and he was in the last kind of years of his life, and I wanted to find a way to connect with him. So I thought, let me write coffee shop reviews. Coffee shops are very trendy, and I wrote 130 coffee shop reviews in a year and built a website so you could find all these really cool, trendy coffee shops, all unique and independent. And then that's kind of when I was like, I know all these coffee shop owners and I know these entrepreneurs. Why don't I start selling the products from the entrepreneurs to the coffee shops? And that's kind of where the grassroots of Ground Culture began. So then I met these entrepreneurs and I was like, this ticks my box. I want to get these entrepreneurs. It was honey, coffee, cookies, hot sauce. And then I had like a few from the formal sector as well, Puka Pure Chai and Common Red Espresso. And I was like, this is my catalog. And then I went door to door to 75 coffee shops a week, 25 on Tuesday, 25 on Wednesday, 25 on Thursday. And I went to every single one until they said yes. And then, of course, the biggest excuse of the 21st century, COVID happened, and suddenly all the coffee shops closed. So I had to kind of rethink the wheel. But I'd got some money from the SAB Foundation, got 100,000 rand grants, because I grew Ubusi honey, which is our Ubusi thing. I took them from 25 kilograms a month to 250 kilograms a month in 10 months. And it really just showed what the formal sector can do in developing a township-based business. They'd given me this grant money, and I'd been waiting for something to do with it. And I'd come up with Ground Culture. And we spent 3 weeks building Ground Culture, the website. And we packaged like grains and stuff in brown bags to make it all biodegradable. And we had about 75 products that we launched with. Then we found this place now, Ground Culture, and we thought we were going to start a retail store here. So we signed the lease, we put it together. Then we had a coffee machine and a toasted sandwich maker just as like a side thing. Like you can get toasty while you wait. And suddenly 80% of our revenue came from coffee and food. So that's when we adapted to food. About a year and a half ago, we got our liquor license approved. We saved everything, took 100,000 rand loan and built the shop, built a proper kitchen and built it into the kind of place I wanted to, and then really just moved forward with the Friday night lineup show, which we've run now for 20 months continuously every single Friday. And it's been an amazing part of building this out, and it's been kind of coming back to the culture, and the culture is really kind of developed around these comedians that have these quite important things to say about our country. So my focus right now is to build this business strong financially. I might be the figurehead and the leader, but I would be nothing without my team. And the food trucks is really where we kind of attach more to that township-based stuff, because we've like working with chefs that have just been forgotten in the kitchen. So here our team is quite young. I'm the oldest in this team, but the food trucks, I'm the youngest in the team. Because the food trucks, we look for like professional chefs that have just been stuck in the back of the kitchen and never been able to develop. So we'd like to develop into an equity model for they're actually owning their own food trucks and developing stores potentially. But yeah, we're kind of flipping the franchise model on its head. We're saying we'll fund the capex and you just show up and do the best job and build relationships with your customers. And then we can scale and grow this thing.
My whole thing with telling these kinds of stories is all about finding out the motivations behind why people do what they do in the food industry. And when it's linked to stories like Ground Cultures, where it's all about community and giving back and honoring South Africa, it's something that I desperately wanted to be able to get behind. That hangover panini is staring at me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over there. Look at that, man. I'm going to go under the hood quickly. Cheese, meat, gherkins, sauce, red onions, toasted panini. Let's give this a taste. You guys, that is so wonderfully flavorful. This bowl of loaded fries is staring at me. Look at that massive, almost cauldron-like pot. The chips, believe it or not, which are in here, are sitting on top of jalapenos and red onions and enough sauce to drown a village. And cheese as well. Look at that melted cheese that's gone on top there. That's probably enough calories for the day, just in this one bite. But someone's got to do it. It tastes exactly how it looks. It's messy, it's indulgent, eat it, skip your next meal kind of a thing. If you were out with mates and you ordered something like this, you'd be the happiest guy in town. I'm going to let Mandela do the talking here. Taking a look at this underneath, everything is super fresh. It's hand cut. You can see the gherkins, the tomato, the lettuce, the red onions, smashed patty on top, plenty of cheese, brioche bun. That's one of the best burgers I've had in a long time. Honest drug. And it also doesn't taste at all processed. You know, sometimes you go to places and it feels like it's going to ruin your day just because of how much unnecessariness has gone into it. Not the case here at all. Not the case at all. This next burger almost feels criminal to bite into because there's a beautifully fried and garnished and spiced egg sitting on top of a chicken breast, which in many ways is the circle of life. But I'm excited to get some of that yolk in my face. That if you can see that the egg yolk is starting to come out on the sides, and that's exactly what I want before I put this into my mouth. The juice just dripping everywhere. This again, huge move for a first date, but I was back that you do this. Go on Mr. D right now. I'll give you 30 Rand off your order if you use the Hammy30 promo code. Get yourself something like this for your partner. Maybe someone who's already your husband or wife. The egg with the chicken, if you really pay it mind and think about, a little crazy, but it was meant to be. It was meant to be. Here it is without its hat on. But what I can't even totally see, but I know is going to be underneath here, chopped red onions, the lettuce, the tomato, that's sitting on top of a gorgeous patty with melted cheese on top. Then you've got the jalapenos, you've got a decadent addition of avo. Once you put its head back on, you got yourself another fantastic, this time Biko burger. I think this is my favorite one. I think of all the burgers that I've had here today, all of which are fantastic, this is the one I would most recommend. The Biko burger. Great man, great burger named after him. But Ground Culture, honestly, is something I'd highly recommend you come and check out for yourself. This is fantastic, fantastic food. That's it for another fantastic episode of Hammy Eats, delivered by Mr. D here at Ground Culture. Check them out for yourselves. Like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.